Hello, everyone. So nice to see you guys in the live stream and on the Minecraft video as well. I see so many repeated names. I see Sasha, I see Graham, I see Emmy, I see Mike. Thank you guys for joining our live today. As for those of you who are joining for the first time, this is Office Hours with August, where we answer all of your questions. And as the name tells, this is August. Hi, August.
Hey, how's it going? Hope everybody's having a great day.
It's going great. The chat is already buzzing. I see Lily's Monha, Haley Catpaws, Reem, Lord, Goofy the Simba, Bruno. Welcome back, you guys. The chat is so buzzing today. Did you guys see the Minecraft premiere video? How many sheeps did you count? How many sheeps did you count? The first one to guess it will get pinned to the video. Ooh. So let's go count those sheeps. August, anything fun happening with your life?
Yeah, I'm working on a lot of my own material-based effects and started
Ooh.
making some makeup effects.
I saw August making makeup effects. At first, I was like, oh my gosh. But then I was like, wow, this is so cool. It's really awesome because makeup is usually one of the effects that I see just like a face mask or like eyelashes, but it could be so much more. It could be so much interactive. And I really like the latest effect that August has created where if you open your mouth, your face gets shy or blush, right?
If you raise your eyebrows
Yes,
or
yes,
open
yes.
your eyes.
So you can pretend that you're standing in front of your crush and you're getting really shy, like, oh my gosh. I think it is so fun. There are so many fun ways to use makeup effects and make it interactive. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing much more of that. It is so. Sasha says, ready for second round two. Yes, we are. Thank you for joining. Mike says, cool costume hat, Celine. Thank you. This is my sheep hat, modeled after my favorite Minecraft character. So I'm very excited to show off my cool hat. Uh, Actually, I also have a big, small personal update. Today is October 10th, which is all of my cats' birthdays. They are all siblings, so they all have the same birthday. So I'm so excited, and they're gonna get an extra can of tuna cake today. So everybody whose birthdays is today, you guys have a magic birthday. Okay, without further ado, let's move on to the questions. Goofy the Simba from the YouTube chat has a question. Please teach me how to do the tap to change eyelashes and makeup.
Tap to change eyelashes and makeup. All right.
I think we can
Let's
use interactions. Oh, August, did you have a project that you wanted to show off?
maybe a little bit. It actually has makeup in it, so maybe I can
Perfect.
modify this project. Let's take a look. So here is the blushing effect. It's a little easier to see with a face, a close face that is emoting a bit. Let's take a look at the eyebrow raised. You can see when she raises her eyebrows, the blush fades in and then it fades out. You know, when I was working on this, I noticed there's no way to check if the eyebrows are actually raised. You can check if they're wiggled. So I made this little subgraph, and if anybody else finds this useful, I can share it afterwards. But it's basically using face avatar result to check if the brows are up by a certain amount. This is a fudge value, it's usually called in the technical world, where you're just like choosing a value. You're just like, okay, I think 0.2 is the best value for this. So you can kind of adjust those. But this is a way to check this if the eyebrow is raised, even though there's not really the facial movement node doesn't have it. So yeah, if you find this useful, I'll share this later. It's pretty nice. And then to switch through the makeups, if we wanted to, this is the easiest way to switch through them when you tap. We've got scene object here, and this is my own personal project, so I didn't like make it like a template where everything's named nicely. It was a Saturday project, you know. But scene object just holds all of these different makeups so that I can easily turn it off and on when you tap the screen, so that males and female users or masculine and feminine users could use it. But if you want, you can just click on this scene object that holds all of your stuff, and you can say interaction. Let's see. Cycle children visibility on tap might be what you want. And if you're doing it in, if you're, depending on the organization of your makeup, it might be that you have this top level holder, and then you have like sub holders that hold your different sets of makeup instead of the different parts. And then it'll turn off and on each set of makeup rather than each piece of one makeup set. So then this is all it looks like once you add that interaction. And if you want to learn more, you can always tap into these subgraphs that are automatically generated by this plus add interaction button. And you can see that it's taking this scene object, and it's got these cycle through mode things, and it's taking the touch input. This is probably just the touch node. Yeah. Tucked into a subgraph for reasons. And then if you take a look here, well, you know, you could probably tidy it up a bit, but for the most part, it's just cycling through and turning everything off and then turning one on at a time to make sure that only one of these objects is on every time you tap. So that could be very useful, because you don't have to understand any of this. You don't ever have to look in here. You can just click that add interaction and find the tap to cycle children visibility, and this does everything for you.
That is perfect. Thank you. We also have another related makeup question. It was from a TikTok live chat by our ambassador, Alyssa. Art by Alyssa asks, I'm making a makeup effect with buttons. Is there a way to create a reset button for the makeup?
A reset button for the makeup.
A button that you can press and then it just takes off all your makeup, I guess.
Yeah, so that could be similar to what I was doing here, where, wait, where is it? Here is my take off the makeup button that I actually have in this effect. Actually, you know, a funny thing, when I made this blush effect, before I made it, while I was learning how to organize the makeup and how to draw on my iPad, I actually watched a tutorial by Art by Alyssa. It's so funny. So thanks so much for making that. I watched a lot of different tutorials to see a ton of people's different perspectives, but yeah, anybody who shares knowledge for free on the internet, you're awesome. So yeah, this is it. All I have is on start, and you could crop out this middle part and just say on start visibility off. But I have it set with a flip-flop so that it changes to on and off each time you tap. And this means it's going to turn it on the next time I tap and then off the next time I tap based on this flip-flop node. So the simple version, if you just want to turn makeup off when you tap, would just be this. And then make sure your visibility on is set to off. Yeah. I hope that's all you really wanted out of that.
Yeah, I think that's super useful. From the TikTok live, people have been after I told them it was my cat's birthday, they said we've asked them to send their cat effects so we can try them on my kitties celebrating their birthday. And Saint Circles says they have a Daphne and Velma effect. That is absolutely wonderful. We can be a whole Scooby crowd. Okay, send us your cat's effects so we can try them on.
I don't know about you, but I
Oopsie daisies, I forgot that I have muted myself. I'm so sorry, guys. Brett says, I have not yet investigated this because I just started playing with it this morning. Is there a way to detect when a image target is scanned? And yes, there is. Um, the subgraph should be already in the Effect House live Discord channel, but August, do you want to go over it again, or should we refer to the Discord channel?
we could refer to the Discord channel.
Okay,
Um,
great.
my way of checking was just checking if the target tracker is visibility is true or false. Is there something more to it?
Um, yeah, I think it basically uses the same mechanic. It just checks like whether it is connecting the scene object info with a update node in the if node and connecting it to do once, and whether sounds good. We have a next question from our YouTube comments, actually. I would love to know how we can export a 3D object with multiple animations from Blender to Effect House. Every time I do that, only the first animation works on Effect House. Help me, please. From Filtersland 7493. I guess
Hmm.
this is more of a Blender question.
One tip: GLTF files. Is that
Hmm.
right? Yeah, Blender traditionally I've always exported to FBX for a lot of programs, but Effect House fully supports GLTF, and GLTF is 100% standardized, so that you don't have to worry about if your axis is in the wrong position or the scale of the object is wrong. And all of the materials and everything come in much more close to how they looked in Blender. So definitely take a look at that, and just make sure when you're exporting that your export settings are correct. Like if you have like selected objects only, make sure to select like the whole top level object so you get all the parts and materials and stuff. And I tried it out; it works really well. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. The next question is from Limbardo Martinez Durango from our YouTube chat. He's asking, what limitations are there when working with World AR for Minecraft?
The limitations. I would just say that is this like actual phone limitations, or are we talking about like legal limitations?
I see
Uh,
maybe the system slash technical limitation.
okay. Yeah, I would say consider first that your AR, any AR effect that you have, just running that AR worldview on like lower end devices is going to be a little heavy. So even though there's not like something appearing on the screen that is an actual algorithm like the pucker or the old face, uh, just using that AR is a little heavy on older devices. So you'll have to be careful with how many objects you have in the scene, and you basically just want to take all the same considerations, like how many vertices do your 3D models have, how large are your textures, all these things. Just consider them like double while you're working in AR space.
Okay, sounds good. Ooh, this is a fun question. Ronus Venus from our YouTube chat is asking, how can I get more views to my effects?
Yeah, that's a challenge sometimes. What I like to do is I like to make uh, my own videos to promote them. I like to share new effects that I make in the Discord effect showcase, and then the what a lot of people say to do is if you go through your videos and see people who have posted a video about it, you can go through and say, hey, thanks for using my effect. And then those people, there's a chance that they'll be like, oh, you're the effect creator. That's so cool. And they might follow you. And then you'll have more followers for the next time you release an effect and sort of build a following. Um, but yeah, just make sure that if any of your effects are getting popular, maybe focus on those. Even if it's not the newest effect you have, go try to make some videos with whatever is popping off at the moment, so that more and more people can recognize you as a creator of a popular effect. Stuff like that. There's a lot to go into it, but and everybody likes different strategies.
Definitely.
But yeah, try a lot of things, see what works.
For if you create a video promoting your effect is up to 10 times more likely to be used by the TikTok community. So maybe it takes 2 or 3 videos before like it really gets popping. So don't give up if the first video you post about your effect doesn't do well. Try to post more videos, and that is definitely a good strategy I would recommend. Another thing is choosing a good related viral sound, especially like a sound that's going viral or trending at the moment. Personally, I feel like also helps with the promotion. Um, I really agree on what August said about building your audience. I personally would dedicate my channel to creating effects so that when I've built up an audience and they know and they come to me for effects, but that's just my personal opinion. Um, Natalie says full support for August's words. Okay, that sounds good. Next question from our forum. It says, I want to do some specific functionality when the front camera is active and some other functionality when the back camera is active inside of the visual scripting. Is there a way to determine this, or is the enable for component the only thing available close to this functionality?
Yeah, that's a, I was just thinking about this as you asked the question. The enable for is, yeah, so that's basically the one way that I know. So I mean, you could, if you want to turn it into a visual scripting kind of thing, I would just create some empty scene objects, and then you can convert it to a non, you don't have to attach enable for to everything. You just attach one enable for to one scene object and just have the front camera on. So front camera, I would name this one, and then I would just check if front camera, I would do like a get visibility, and then I would say, maybe you would call it like is front camera on or something like that. And then you would say, you could, depending on how you want to track it, you could like create like a subgraph that has events that say start front camera, stop front camera. And you could have like something that's always sending a signal to front camera or always sending a signal to back camera, like an update. Here, it's not too hard. We'll just do this. Okay, so I'm going to share with you something that I've shared many, many times if you look through the templates and microjams. And it's called set state. And I just like to share it because I think it's the possibly the my most used subgraph. Here we go. All it does is when you're sending an event to it, it checks if this input state changes. And when it changes, it will output different signals. So for instance, this get visibility, all we have to do is plug it into there, and then we set an update into it. And you can find this subgraph in like half of the templates that I've worked on. So you just send this, and then if you, here, let's connect it to here so we can see stay, start, and stop. So notice that it's staying because this object is on. But if we were to change this to back camera, okay, let me restart it. Maybe I forgot how enable 4 works. I need to play with it a bit, actually. What would, maybe, does this only work on, I think it might only work on mobile device while you're testing, right? Because there's no way to have a front or back camera on the laptop.
Yeah. Do you think we can change the preview window to maybe like a thing that shows image?
Oh, right.
Also, is it possible to have both the back and front camera in the same effect, or does just putting AR plane force our effects to be back camera only?
Oh yeah, that might be true. So this one, target tracking is back cam, right? So if I have to kind of remove that anyway. Yeah, so maybe we would have to test this on mobile.
Sounds good. Do you want to do some investigating and we can report to the live channel?
Yeah, and I can reshare this subgraph because this basically does everything for you as well.
That's perfect. Okay. We will share the results of our investigation in our Discord channel, and if it comes to a worthy conclusion, we'll start with that next time. So don't worry if you've been particularly interested about that one. Okay. We have a next question from the Discord channel asked by Zodi. Zodi saying, when I put retouch render output in portrait segmentation, it is flipped upside down. To fix this, I would like to use a patch or something to invert the texture's UVs and invert it. I think they're asking for help on how to fix an upside down UV.
I'm curious about this. Let's see, portrait segmentation. Oh yeah. So is this, I see. Is this coming from a template? Because our segmentation changed recently, you might have noticed. So now when you create a portrait segmentation texture, there's no actual way to change it. It's actually, you have to add object segmentation, portrait segmentation, and you'll notice if you click on this, it's actually a segmentation material that uses the segmentation texture. So if you have like an old template or an old project that uses the old segmentation texture, those ones will be flipped upside down because they're from before the change where we flipped all of the render textures upside down to return them back to the unflipped. So that's what I think is most likely happening. But if you got it from a specific template, please let us know, because that might mean that there's a template out there that we haven't changed over to the new way. So that would be super valuable, and we'll change it right away.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for reporting it. I think this question might also be like from a couple days back, so it might have been before we switched over to the new template style. But if you're still having this question, please let us know so we can fix it for you. The next question is from our Discord channel, variable values question. Prime is asking, hi, I'm curious if there's any way to get the variable number for instance and then put it in a 2D screen image, making it a lot easier. If so, feel free to let me know how.
2D screen image.
We do have the text feature, and maybe we can render it to a specific layer that we put on the 2D screen image.
Yeah, I think I'm a little confused by the question.
Yeah, I think maybe they want to be able to render a specific text, like make it interact.
Yeah. The instance, are they talking about the instances the new nodes that we have in Material Editor? I will say, and I'm pretty sure we can, well, actually, never mind.
It's a written text, so I'm not really sure about the context. But if I'm rereading the question, it says, I'm curious if there is a way to get the variable number for instance and then put it in a 2D screen image, making it a lot easier. Maybe they are actually asking about the instance count, like how many objects are there.
Yeah. Maybe we can ask for more information and come back to this one.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
We have another question from from Projo actually. How to set a blur to the full screen but fade from blur? No, we answered this last week. Okay.
It's a cat. Happy birthday.
Oh, okay. Projo is asking a question in our YouTube comments. He's saying, by the way, is there any update fix for the texture flip error when you open old projects in version 3.3.2? Some people message me that the keyboard project by August has that the microjam project on the website, everything is flipped and it affects how it works when you select flip Y. Natalie is also mentioning that when you open effects from previous version, it shows up flipped sometimes.
Yeah, this is kind of this is a side effect. The flipping definitely makes things a little smoother, but it definitely impacts a little bit of the backwards compatibility in that way. Usually you can just click flip Y. I can't think of a situation where you wouldn't, other than inside of materials. And if you need to flip it inside of a material with visual scripting, that's not too hard, especially since we have the one minus thing. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. That might be a helpful thing to just know how to do. Let's just create an unlit material. And then oh no, not unlit, sorry. Custom material. In custom material, let's say textured. I don't have any cats.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, the guy that was outside my window on the street finally got in.
Oh,
no. Okay, so usually you'll have texture coordinate or screen coordinate depending on what you're doing, and you'll just plug that into the UV, and then you'll select your texture. We'll say portrait segmentation texture. And for this portrait segmentation texture, now this will just render the portrait segmentation. So let's just add a 2D object. Okay, I'll turn these. Okay, cool. So we have this, it's rendering, wonder, let's turn everything else off, that we're getting a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so my portrait segmentation texture should be a mask, right? Oh, I'm so silly. I forgot to change to my new empty material to add that to the image component. So it's just a mask, right? And we can change it to stretch mode so that it fills its actual screen ratio shape. So right now it's right side up. this is generally, maybe there's a faster way. I don't think so, but this is the way that I always flip it. Use the 1 minus on the y value, and then use an append to bring it back to a vec2. And then this will flip it on the y. And this is like, I don't recommend doing it this way, but just if you're doing some custom materials and you need to know how to flip the texture coordinates so it renders an image upside down, this is like essentially the same thing as clicking that checkbox. So it's good to know how to do this if you want to work with custom materials. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, please let us know if you're still having this problem. It is actually a phenomenon that happened because we fixed the bug. I think it's ironic and funny, but before we had a lot of bugs with the UV flipping upside down, but we fixed it so that it's error free. But all of our previous project that we kind of put a patch onto is now haunting us. But since the bug has been fixed going forward, this issue won't happen again. But we can definitely look into projects that are still having this issue. It seems like the Microjam project, the keyboard one, is having this issue. So August can take a look at it and we'll see and maybe give you an updated solution. But let us know if you're seeing this phenomenon with any older effects so we can update them. Thank you for reporting. Okay, MA3D3 Designer has asked a question about Raycast. Hello, everyone. I have a question. Is there a way to make the Raycast work with the AR plane and the back camera? So I suggested, hey, have you tried out our Raycast template? We've have that feature built in, but they're asking, they've tried the Raycast with the front camera and it works perfectly. I just don't know how to make the Raycast work with a back camera.
I think maybe we should go to the project, the Raycast game, check that out. The first thing that I haven't messed with trying to do it with the different front and back cameras yet. All right, hit controller. I feel like picking through this might look a little might be a little much. Maybe we could create like a simpler example.
Yeah, should we start from a blank project that uses Raycast, perhaps?
Maybe. It's hard to say. This is not something that I've spent much time with. So I thought using the template example might be a great way to do it. Okay, so the idea across like all game engines with raycasting is creating this ray, and the ray direction and origin and all of that is basically world space. So it's the first thing that I was thinking, and I'm not 100% sure about this, but if you're switching between front and back cam, it might, I wonder if the direction of the Z direction changes. I can't think of it.
Wrong, but I'm not sure if we can use both front and back camera at the same time. I think by adding the AR plane, it just forces your effect to be back camera.
Right. If you're making something with the AR, then you can't change it at all. So they're probably, yeah, if this is like raycasting from the screen to interact with objects, then you can only do it from one anyway. But if you're, but here's the thing. Here's how I would figure it out. If I encounter this problem, I would create visible objects that represent these points that I'm raycasting with, right? So origin, I would, let's add a cube. And this is how I learn everything. This is how I basically do everything. I would create this cube and maybe scale it down, but I would set its position. Set position to this same value as origin, and then maybe duplicate it, and I would set the position of this one to add, and you could do something slightly different, but I would just I would add the position, the origin, and the direction to, this would be the tip of that ray. And I might normalize it as well so that this vector is always one distance away so that it doesn't like bounce too much. And then I would just add some updates here. Just so that every single frame you'll see what this value is. And this is where you would so there's the cubes down here. And it looks like they might be getting double rendered because of this camera or something. You can just see these. Oh, well, that's weird. Oh, it's at the environment light. Okay. But yeah, you can see this little. Okay. Probably not too important. But yeah, you can see this sort of angle now that I've cleared it up a little bit. So as you interact and I touch on the screen, we can see the ray is changing here. So you can, stuff like this, you know, it's not perfect, but now I can clearly see where the ray is starting, where it's ending, and get a pretty good idea of how this is acting, rather than having to just look at numbers and imagine it. I hope that's helpful. What do you think, Celine?
I think so. But maybe if anybody has more questions, you can do a follow-up question and we can investigate it again. But in the meantime, I feel like adding Raycast with the back camera is such a fun idea. And in a previous office hour, I can find the one and link it in the Discord channel. August has kind of showed us a way how you can use like the camera direction to fake Raycast. So if this method doesn't work, we can still use the other method that August has taught us, which I will link in our Discord page. Okay, the last question of the day. Sane Circle from our TikTok live is asking kind of silly question, but is there a best way to add GIFs rather than texture sequences? Unfortunately, not at the moment, but is there a better way to optimize texture performance or texture sequences, August?
There are, you know, when I try to optimize GIFs and stuff, I just Google search, and there's a couple different websites that I use that, you know, there are different random third parties that help you optimize your GIFs and then export as frames, or, you know, there's a lot of different tools. But yeah, I understand it's very easy to make a giant PNG sequence where it's like it hits the 5 megabyte limit. But yeah, there's definitely ways to compress those PNGs down to make them more reasonable.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, I have before we end, I want to show off a effect that one of our creators has created. Natalie is in the comment section right now, and today I wanted to show off a super effect, awesome effect that she has created. It is this one. I don't know if you guys have grown up playing Tangram, but this is so fun. We can try it out together, and let's try it. I think it'll be embarrassing because I'm going to horribly fail, but at least you guys can see me suffer. Let's see. I definitely know that these ones are supposed to be okay. Okay. It's good because it guides you when you try to put something into place and it's wrong. I guess it tells you. So, where would this go though?
I think maybe it just has to be like almost pixel perfect into that slot.
Oh, really? Okay, let me try. Oh, okay, that makes so much sense. I was like, there's no other space. Let's see. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. Is it the pixel perfect or is it somewhere else? Okay. Let's try out the big ones. This is the only. This is the place. Or here? Here? Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm so focused right now. Yay! I beat level 1. Woohoo! Well, this was Natalie's effect. She has been creating super awesome effects. For level 2 and 3, you guys have to try it on yourself. But some other effects that she has, a lot of it using our fun templates as well. I really like this one, the Stranger Things maze, because it perfectly embodies the idea of Stranger Things, like the upper down world. What is that called? The underworld. And
Upside down.
yes, that was what I was trying to say. That one is what I was trying to say. So that I thought was really fun. And this one, Atom Track, I've seen a lot of people use this one. It's where you have a looping atom and you have to touch it so that they perfectly go in order without overlapping. But I heard these are so hard. Oh no. I heard the strategy is just to tap really fast. Oh no! But these are super fun effects that you can try out. Thank you, Natalie, for making all of these awesome effects. She has used the slash match template to create this awesome slash match effect, Harry Potter. So yeah, go check her out if you haven't already. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining Office Hours today. Joe gave a really good recommendation. Joe uses FFmpeg to convert an MP4 into PNGs and then use Crushy to switch them. So maybe that's an amazing way you can try it out. Thank you guys for joining Office Hours and hope to see you soon next week, same time. Bye, guys.